Hello, everybody, and welcome to Dragonrider Happy Hour. Welcome to my bar. It's happy hour time. It's the end of the work week, and thanks to Gamescom this week, there's lots of gaming news for us to talk over. But mostly, I just appreciate you being here, hanging out with me, so thank you. Today's stream is going to be a little bit faster because I believe the Gamescom wrap-up ceremony takes place in about 30 minutes, and I don't want anyone to miss that if you're looking forward to that. So the Gamescom news I'll be discussing today is as of this morning when I started my Streamapalooza day on all the different platforms. But welcome. If you're here for the news, I will chapter divide this up after the fact, and if you're here to hang out, it is my distinct honor and pleasure to host you in my bar. Welcome, everybody. Steven says, we appreciate you. No, I appreciate you. You know who else I appreciate? Bartender Nate, who made this beautiful drink. Bartender Nate, what are we drinking today?
Hello, Dragonriders. First of all, 1K day, huh?
That was wild. It was wild.
That was wild.
Yeah.
Our garage has never looked emptier. That's actually not true. But anyway, today's drink is called the Casino. So if you check out the Discord, the recipe's already in there. Careful, you're tilting, you're going to spill. On your expensive computer.
I'm way far out ahead of the computer.
Just making sure.
Yep.
It's on the Discord, the recipe's in the Discord, but if you read it already, you'll notice that I think this could be a new go-to for Trisha in terms of drinks.
Ooh.
So it's just gin to start with, a little bit of lemon juice, maraschino liqueur, simple syrup, and just some couple of dashes of orange bitters. It's really tasty. So enjoy responsibly and have a great weekend.
Thanks, Bartender Nate.
Bye.
All right. I was trying to show you the drink, and I know that the camera wasn't focusing on it because it was focusing on Nate's face, which is totally fine. I do have a beautiful picture of this on my Instagram stories that I took just before we went live. But here, if I don't want to spill it, but if I do this, will it focus on the glass? Yes. Now you can see he garnished it with a sweet little dried fruit and all sorts of stuff. Let me try it. Oh, that's really tasty. That's very delish. For sure, high five on that one. Mark Hot says, what laptop with RGB lighting are you using? This is the Alienware M15. That's what I'm using to power the stream today, but I've recently gotten a newer device than this from Alienware that I just filmed a little unboxing TikTok/short for, but I haven't released it yet. And in future Dragonrider Happy Hours, you will see the even more new upgraded model of this, which is very exciting. But yes, I see Steven says I'm drinking a rum and coke today. You had me at gin. Eric Paulson says, and beer. Elden Ring does look amazing. Rob K. Hi, took it home to Jenny. Hi, and welcome everybody here. I'm just going to move this over just a little bit more. Welcome everybody. Tyler Boy says, hashtag sponsored by Alienware, thumbs up. This video is not, but I do a lot of work with the Alienware Hive influencer program. So yeah, I mean, that's just the products that I happen to use. Sargon Destroyer of World says, X15? I will neither confirm nor deny those rumors, but if you're interested in the X15, you should probably pay attention to this YouTube channel pretty soon. That's what I will say. All right. Tyler Boy says, I'm drinking water, though I did have a Hong Kong milk tea earlier. Ooh, that sounds delightful. Good for you. Well, welcome, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Like I said, I'm going to go through the news a little bit quicker today than I normally do, just in case anyone's trying to get out for that 2:30 p.m. Pacific time Gamescom wrap up. I believe that's the time it is today. And like I said, all of the Gamescom news I've compiled has been as of this morning because I have been online pretty much all day today between Amazon streams, Twitch streams, being here on YouTube, and then I'm going back to Amazon after this. So it's a busy Friday, but a good Friday. And then after this, I'm going to go hang out with my good friend Naomi Kyle. And that's going to be lovely. All right, so the news that we're planning on covering today is Gamescom 2021, of course. Overwatch's McCree is potentially getting a name change. Fortnite's got a Martin Luther King experience. Netflix gaming is now available in Poland. And Steam's 2-hour refund policy has made a certain developer quit. developing video games. So all of that and so much more is what we'll discuss today. Like I said, if you're watching this after the fact, want to jump to a specific place in the video, you're welcome to do that. But otherwise, buckle up, because let's do this. Steven Summers says, Gamescom blew E3 out of the water for me. And I know it was funny. I was going back and forth between titles for today saying Gamescom 2021, it was meh or it was better than E3. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. I do think we got more exciting announcements in Gamescom than we did in E3. So Steven, I am there to side with you on this one for sure. Tyler Boy says, I kind of wonder why game publishers provide so much content for Gamescom versus E3. Maybe because it's a more direct link to the European market. I mean, there are lots of different reasons that we could speculate, and this year in particular, having the gaming industry kind of be flipped on its head the last 2 years as far as E3 is concerned, what that means, how it's been produced behind the scenes. There's a lot that goes into it, but we did get lots of big, exciting announcements from Gamescom this year, including that Halo Infinite got a release date, December 8th of this year. So all of your holiday purchases can revolve around it if you want to. So that will be the campaign and the multiplayer on December 8th, which is very exciting. The campaign co-op and the Forge will release in 2022. And they showed off this beautiful special Halo Xbox Elite Series 2 controller and an Xbox Series X, all custom themed for Halo Infinite. If you're a Halo fan, let me just tell you, I did drool a little bit while we were watching the live stream, had to wipe it up because it looked so beautiful to celebrate Halo's 20th anniversary. And those are, I know some people got pre-orders in already, but I think they're becoming available November 15th, so that's right around the corner. Chris says, I would have killed for some campaign news for Halo Infinite. So yes, the campaign is going to release on December 8th, but the co-op campaign, 2022. That's what we got there. Tyler Boyce says, I honestly didn't expect a 2021 release date for Halo. I was so sure they'd push back to 2022 like everybody else. I thought that as well. And Chris says, got both. And I assume you mean the Halo Infinite Xbox Series Elite 2 wireless controller as well as the Xbox Series X. And to that I say, congratulations, my friend. Well done. Well done. Also very exciting to me, and probably one of my favorite announcements of Gamescom, was Marvel's Midnight Sun was announced. Now, it's long been rumored that we were going to get a strategic XCOM-like Marvel game coming, and this is what that looks to be. So it's a strategy game from Firaxis Games, and it's coming in March of 2022 with a gameplay preview on September 1st, which I will definitely be trying to get into. And of course, it's heavily inspired from the Midnight Suns, S-O-N-S, even though the game is Midnight Sun, S-U-N. Heavily inspired by stories from the comic books, and characters like Nico from The Runaways and Robbie Ray as Ghost Rider. So it looks to be a wonderful amalgamation. I like the style. I like the art. It certainly piqued my interest. And if it is indeed an XCOM-like turn-based tactical strategy game but set in the Marvel Universe, sign me up. I love those kind of games. I would be in. Yes. But Sargon, Destroyer of Worlds presents the opposing opinion and says, must admit, I'm all marveled out. And that's okay too. I feel like a lot of the Marvel television has kept some of us going through our stay at home times. I am not yet marveled out, although I will admit I'm a little bit behind in What If. I gotta catch up. Steven says, I can't wait to see the full roster. Fingers crossed for Black Panther and Gambit. I'm not playing Marvel's Avengers anymore, so as far as a video game fix, this would be it for me. All right, the Death Stranding Director's Cut features were announced. It's coming in September of this year. We saw new items like a jetpack, a cargo catapult where you can fire cargo to faraway areas, jump ramps on like a Tron-esque motorcycle, and a buddy bot that can now carry Sam. It just looked so wild. We were live streaming this on Twitch. I was co-streaming it, and so many people in chat were like, this is the most Kojima of all Kojima games. So wild, so random. There's a new weapon training area with high score chasing events. Boss battles can now be revisited and refought via your private room area. And there's going to be more music, more customization options as well. New delivery missions, including a stealth-based facility that had major Metal Gear Solid vibes. So that's what we found out for Death Stranding. Twitch chat, at least when we were co-streaming this, was very split on whether you wanted more Death Stranding or not. Some people said I loved it, my favorite game of all time, and some other people were like, the most boring game of all time. Gotta let Kojima, says Beardtastic Yogi. Himar Jubai says, I'm all for maximum Kojima. And Tyler says, I love BuddyBot. I want one in real life. DJ David says, Trisha, Mega Man X30, when is the game coming out, and is it going to be for the PS4, PS5? I do not know off the top of my head on that. I haven't heard any news on that. I don't have anything to report today. If anyone else has heard any news for that, please go ahead and throw it in a chat. Steven says, regarding Death Stranding, it's a great game, but you just need to get into it. Which totally sounds like it makes sense. A lot of my Twitter feed has been filled with news for Deathloop, because a bunch of people got to play it. I did not get early hands-on, unfortunately, so I can't speak to my personal experience with it, but the final preview of it is apparently looking really good. I saw a lot of mutuals in the video game industry say that their hands-on time with it was very, very good. They're very much looking forward to it, and it's set to release for both PS5 and PC on September 14th, a day before my birthday, so that's exciting. Now, I know some of you in chat mentioned this one a little earlier, but a new Saints Row reboot is to be released in February of 2022, and people had mixed reactions to this as well. I thought it looked really fun. That being said, I am not a diehard Saints Row player. I'm not personally very invested in the franchise. It does take place in Santo Ileso. I hope I said that right. Similar to like the American Southwest. You'll play as the boss, who is customizable, including voice options. And they said, here's a quote about it. Rounding out your crew are Eli, the planner and financial guru, Nina, your driver mechanic with a background in art history and anthropology, and Kevin, the people-pleasing DJ, who's also a thrill seeker, who aim in not just in starting a street gang, but also building a criminal empire. So a very eclectic cast of characters. I thought it was cool to have a colorful cast of characters, but I saw Brian Altano tweet out today, Brian from IGN. I saw him tweet out that lots of people wanted it to be more gritty, and they didn't kind of like the colorful characters that we saw throughout their reboot Gamescom footage. So to each their own. What did you guys think of it? James E says, so many reboots. Himar Jubai says, I want to see the gameplay before I decide. Totally valid. Rob K says, Saints Row is better than GTA. And the demo is out now, says Shadeax. Shadeax is looking personally forward to Cultic, and the demo is out now. Matt Foster says, heck yeah, I need me some more Saints Row. I love the previous games, and I can't wait to see some gameplay footage. Yes. And Steven Summers says, yeah, but Saints Row was never successful when it tried to be gritty. We shall see. We shall see. There better be a Nolan North voice option, or I'm not interested, says Himar Jubai. You know, Nolan North, you can never get enough Nolan North voice. I get that. All right, in other exciting Gamescom news, Horizon Forbidden West has been pushed to February 18th, 2022 for PS4 and PS5, but anytime we get to see any Horizon Forbidden West, I'm hyped. And Horizon Zero Dawn is also getting a 4K 60 frames per second patch for PS5. Dun da da da, more Aloy. I know there are some people in chat right now that are huge Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fans. Jeff Vial, are you here today? You're probably the biggest one that I know just off the top of my head. But Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge showcased some footage where April O'Neil is now a playable character. So it's all of the 80s Ninja Turtles arcade game and video game action that you can remember. Maybe 80s, early 90s. I don't know. That time all blends together for me because I was so little. But April she's now a playable character, and she can now fight alongside the turtles, which the little kid in me was so happy to see. It looked awesome. Yeah, Steven Summers says April O'Neil is a fighter in Shredder's Revenge and Nicktoons Brawl. It was very excited. It's very, very exciting. Give me that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles beat 'em up arcade vibes. Yes, me too. Me too. She's got like a mic drop maneuver and stuff like that, looking really good. Dying Light 2 got a new gameplay trailer, which looked pretty nice, and we got to see that. Call of Duty Vanguard gameplay was revealed, which Laura Bailey was trending, and I was so happy to see Laura Bailey trending because she's a lovely human being and should get all the praise in the world. But her character, Paulina, is who we got to see the gameplay of when we were going through it. And it was interesting to me how many people in chat say you play Call of Duty for the story and not really for the competitive multiplayer aspects of it. This Call of Duty Vanguard is a World War II setting with a more narrative-focused story. I'm sorry, not Paulina, Petrova is her name. Play as Petrova, and she's a Russian sniper, and that's who Laura Bailey is going to voice and who we got to see the gameplay of, which was great. Jeff Dumas says, everyone loves Laura. Laura is the sweetest, can vouch from personal experience, A+ human. All right, this was news that I know some people were looking forward to ahead of all the Gamescom announcements, really hoping for more information on LEGO Star Wars. So LEGO Star Wars Skywalker Saga is going to be released in spring of 2022, and that is after a 1-year delay, but now we know that, so we have a date and can feel hyped about that. Tyler Boy says, regarding Call of Duty Vanguard, I feel awkward about celebrating an Activision Blizzard game, though props to Sledgehammer and capturing Stalingrad, snipers and all. Yeah, you know, a lot of us are very conflicted on that front right now, which will lead us right into our next story. But before we jump into our next news story, I did want to let everybody know the final kind of big news I thought that came out of this that was interesting is that cloud gaming is now coming to Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S, and Xbox One this holiday season. So Game Pass Ultimate subscribers will be able to stream over 100 games on their consoles without needing to download them. Now that being said, how many of you have messed around with cloud gaming in any form, whether it was on your mobile, on a PC, now we'll be moving into consoles as well. And if so, have you had a good experience? Because I've had mixed reactions myself personally and would love to know what you think. Now that being said, the internet where I am is not fantastic, as happens sometimes with hiccups on my stream. So my cloud gaming tends to be very intermittent, but if you live in an area where you have fiber or something like that, you may have a better experience. Let's see. Sargon, have a great dinner. Disco Cobra, I'm glad you saw the 1K day highlight that I put up here on YouTube. It was very fun. ShadeX says, never done cloud gaming. Jimmy Sprinkle says, I have done cloud gaming. It was hit or miss sometimes. James says, I do not have fiber optic internet, so nope. And Haswell says, Starlink! Well, maybe now that more people will get to try it, we'll get kind of more of a overall sampling of what cloud gaming looks like for the average consumer. I'm excited to see that. So was there anything that you were looking forward to at Gamescom that didn't get announced? Moments that super shocked you at Gamescom? And overall, Gamescom, better than E3? What do you think? Let me know in chat. I'll take a sip while that's catching up there. All right. John Callahan says, I have. It's been good, but has some issues. I have fiber, but it still can go do. I assume maybe do. Let's see. Joker Joe says, Stadia is dead, but it's good with very little lag. xCloud, the input delay depends on the game. I don't know if I'm a good example, though, because I have gigabit fiber. Thank you for weighing in there. Steven Summer says, I just liked all the cool trailers. Tyler Boy says, honestly, my wish list was just Horizon Forbidden West, so I'm satisfied. And yes, Gamescom was better than E3 for you, Tyler. Rob K says, E3 had Jackie Jing, though. You know I love Jackie. Love and support Jackie and all that she does, so that's true. I haven't watched Gamescom, says ShadeX. Nothing too shocking for me, says Disco Cobra. Looking forward to Dying Light 2 and possibly the Saints Row reboot. And ShadeX says, I mostly just watch trailers afterwards. I always go back and watch them afterwards as well. And Tyler says, any games industry trade show is better when we hear straight from the devs rather than the execs or celebrities. I mean, I tend to agree with you. DJ David says, I'm kind of in the middle. There were some things that I was excited about for E3, but most of all, I did think it was a more lackluster E3. But given the state of the world we're in, it's certainly understandable. There was a little more to get hyped about this year at Gamescom, I think, than there was at E3. But again, we're just kind of in this weird time where so many of the AAA studios are trying to have people work remotely and they're not functioning at the same pace that they used to. So we can't be expecting reveals at the same pace that we used to. That's my take on it, at least. But I do think that I enjoyed Gamescom's announcements more than E3's this year. Not to say that I did not have moments at E3 that I was like, yes, this is great. Some of the moments E3 week were not E3 affiliated that I thought were super good, by the way. Okay, moving on to the next story. I know we kind of talked about it being hard to support Activision Blizzard right now. Speaking of, Overwatch's McCree is going to get a name change. Now, this name change, we don't know what to, but the name change was announced after, or the name itself was named after an actual employee. Jesse McCree, I believe is his name, who was involved in the California lawsuit against Blizzard. And so they announced a name change in not, forever immortalizing this person's name who used to work at Blizzard. Now, this has already happened with a World of Warcraft NPC who received a name change after it was revealed that another Blizzard developer was also involved in incidents leading to the lawsuit. And some North American Overwatch League casters have already just started calling McCree's character the Cowboy and not using the name McCree. So there was a planned in-game story event having to do with McCree's character that's now been delayed. I imagine Matthew Mercer will be doing more voiceover pickup lines or new things there. And alternatively, a new map will be available in September related to McCree. And Blizzard, so this is the big news that's coming out of it, I think. Blizzard has announced that they will no longer name characters after real-life developers to help reinforce that we're building a fictional universe, this is what they said, that is unmistakably different from the real world and better illustrates that the creation of Overwatch is truly a team effort. Now, the reason I think that's big news is I have friends who work at Activision and Blizzard, and I've had friends whose names have been inserted into games, never as a character, but as items. In like a lot of Diablo items are named after people that I know who worked at Blizzard at the time that those things, were being put into the game originally. And I always thought that was so cool and like what a community thing. But I do totally understand right now why they're looking at a potential name change. And it does make sense to try to enforce that they're creating something totally fictional rather than kind of blending it with developers' names. So I wanted to get your take on this, chat. Overwatch, the artist formerly known as McCree. There's also a World of Warcraft zone, McCree. Interesting, James. In other words, they don't want to backtrack in the future. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Joker Joe says they're just doing that to save face. Honestly, if they cared about their employees, they wouldn't have allowed what happened to have happened. I'm not in it. I do have friends that are in it and, like I said, work there that can speak more actively to what's being done at the company or not being done at the company to try to right wrongs and change culture, if you will. But I know that there are a lot of hot takes on the internet about exactly what you said, that maybe just renaming McCree is skipping all the necessary steps to make a better work environment and going right to the public-facing aspect of it. But then there's other people who say, I'm really proud of the Overwatch team for making an official statement on this. So it's just kind of like all over. Weasels1 says, if it's just an NPC or an item that has little influence on the actual story or lore, then I don't really care. Christian Polson says, I feel like this is a good way to take focus from the real issues. And maybe you're right. Maface says, maybe too little too late. Let's see. There needs to be a Rob K in future shoot 'em ups. Well, if you develop it, do it. There's real named NPCs in WoW that don't really do anything. They're just there. Let's see. B Powers says, this is the reason people need to learn about Death of the Author. This hot take seems overblown. I am not familiar with Death of the Author, but thank you for that suggestion. I will totally go look it up, B Powers. And then, yes, Steven's bringing up boycotting. And I mean, we've talked about that at length on this happy hour before of, what's kind of the best way when you as a consumer feel upset about something going on, what's the best way to kind of voice that and take your own stand. And I don't know that I have an answer for that other than kind of what happened before, where it's like, donate to charities that are actively doing the work to make it better. That feels good to me, but yeah, I don't know how else to go about that. Tyler Boyce says it also solidifies that McCree, the game character, is intrinsically tied with McCree, the problematic dev, and that is a big problem when you cannot disentangle from the creator. Yeah, I think we'll let that be the final button on it, Tyler Boyce. Thank you so much for that. Oh, you know what? No, I do have one more question. Would you rather a complete name change or just removing the name and forever here under knowing him as the Cowboy? The Cowboy or new name? What do you think, chat? There should be a healer called Shish. I'd be okay with that. The Cowboy. Chris Driffle says we should keep it the Cowboy. Give him a superhero name. Cowboy, new name. You guys are pretty split. Cowboy, new name right now in chat. I'd be okay with either. I have no investment into the situation. I just hope that as long as they keep using Matthew Mercer's voice for the character, I will be happy. The cow dude, says Steven. Okay. In other very strange news this week, there is a Fortnite Martin Luther King experience. I know we kind of talked about this a little bit in the Discord current events channel, I think, but Fortnite March Through Time is an all-new experience that will homage the life and achievements of Martin Luther King Jr., which allows players to witness the full I Have a Dream speech in-game. And here's a quote. Players taking part in the experience will travel to a reimagined Washington, D.C. at the Lincoln Memorial and U.S. National Mall, where Dr. King originally gave his speech in 1963, and includes museum-inspired mini-quests. Players who complete the March Through Time experience will receive access to an in-game reward in the form of a DC-63 spray for their lockers. Now, do we think this is an awesome way to educate young gamers through a popular gaming format? Or do we think this is a very strange and potentially weirdly tone-deaf collaboration? I would like to hear your takes. Okay. Jimmy Sprinkles says, I don't like this idea. James E. says, Fortnite, getting desperate for relevance. Jimmy Sprinkles says, read a book instead. Daniel Casabon gives a how bizarre music notes in chat. Humor Jubai says, oh, sweet space. Yeah, this sounds a little tone deaf. DJ David says, interesting. Joker Joe says, MLK would have been very confused. I think a lot of us are my take on it was just very confused. The King Estate did approve of it, though, says Silver Crow. That is an excellent point. Beartastic says, I mean, it's kind of neat that they're trying something new to educate people. I am with that. I do think it's kind of cool that they're trying to educate it. I feel like we need to see it play out, because Christian Polson says, about as tone deaf as it gets. And Steven says, I foresee problems. Snack Packs, though, brings up a good point, says, with certain schools banning the education of MLK in his speech, this might be a good way to reach them. Yeah, Maverick Hunter Zero says, I'm just generally confused. That's kind of how I feel about that as well. March is much more true to life, written by someone who was actually there, and it actually benefits the Black community directly. You're speaking about the book that people could go read. But Shadex says, I still think it seems extremely tacky. I mean, when King did his speech, was he imagining default Dancing Rick and Morty with aliens, Halo, Spartans, etc.? Yeah, no. But Steven says, like, it's nice if this is how we teach kids about MLK, but our education system is so screwed. That is true. Although Tuomas Grana says, if you want to reach the kids, you gotta go where the kids are. And they're in Fortnite. Still a little weird, though. I won't lie. Yeah, I'm very split on it as well. I'm like, let's educate people. And education through gaming is awesome, but it does definitely feel a little strange. But you know what? Fortnite has been taking a lot of risks all over the place as far as like in-game concerts and all sorts of stuff. And at least so far, it's been working out for them from what I can see. So there you go. Netflix Gaming is now available, but only in Poland. Netflix subscribers with an Android device can now try out the streaming service's new gaming service, but it's currently only available to Netflix subscribers who live in Poland. I don't know if any of you here are in Poland. Shout out in chat and let me know if you've tried this. So far, only 2 games are available. Stranger Things, the game, and Stranger Things 3, the game. And Netflix Gaming has no ads or in-app purchases. Netflix will not charge any kind of additional fee for you to access the games in its service. And Netflix has also come out and said that this features in its very, very, very early days. So there's going to be a lot more work to be done to refine the gaming service in the coming months. And they did confirm they're focusing on mobile games first, but would like to build on experiences similar to the interactive shows like they've done with Black Mirror Bandersnatch. This is so interesting. Poland and no Witcher is a great question, Jeff Dumas. Poland and no Witcher is a great question. Random fact of the day. Yeah. Nope, you're in Denmark. Road trip to Poland, says Beardastic Yogi to check it out. I would also love to visit Poland, by the way. VPN to Poland, says Jean. I don't know. A Silver Crow, I don't know if a VPN would work to access it or not, but it's just so interesting to see that Netflix is getting into gaming. I know we've kind of mentioned it before on Happy Hour, but I mean, mobile games through Netflix make sense, I guess, because you watch Netflix on your phone. But we've often wondered, if you're watching Netflix on your TV at home, is there going to be a console? Is there going to be a controller? Like, what's the input format? And I guess sticking to the interactive TV shows like Black Mirror, Bandersnatch, and mobile games allow them to have the input figured out apart from a traditional living room setup. But yeah, it's very interesting. Or maybe, streaming games onto your computer. I don't know where they're going to go with it. Everyone in chat is saying, why Poland? I don't know. But that's where they're doing it. So if you are in Poland and you're watching this later and you've got a chance to try it out, please reach out to me on social media and let me know how it is, because I would love to know. All right. More news. I know I said we'd wrap by 2:30. I'm sorry it didn't happen. More news. Steam's 2-hour refund policy has caused a certain developer to quit. And it's a very interesting conversation just around Steam's 2-hour refund window, because for a huge game like Assassin's Creed Valhalla or something like that, a 2-hour refund window seems pretty fair. If you've played for an hour and a half and you're like, yeah, don't know if this is for me, you can get your refund on Steam and that's fine. However, this specific developer who the article that I found was about made a game that's only 90 minutes long. And even though the reviews on this game are pretty excellent on Steam, by the way, Summer of 58 is the name of the game, and it's been developed by MLK Games. Summer of 58 is only a 90-minute experience, so even though it has all these positive reviews on Steam, lots of people were buying it, playing it, and then returning it so that they essentially got that experience for free. And the poor developer has just had it. They've just had it, and they said that they're going to walk away from games development for an indefinite amount of time. And I just thought that was so very sad, because I do think people should be compensated for their work. And the quote from MLK Games was, "Friends, thank you for your support. I'm leaving game development for an indefinite time to collect my thoughts. The fact is that my game, Summer of 58, does not reach 2 hours of playing time by Steam standards, and in this regard, a huge number of returns on the game, even with positive reviews, and I do not earn anything to create a new game. Thank you so much for supporting me. I'm very glad that you like my games, but since I have no condition to do something new, I have to do something else. I will immediately answer everyone who asks about from day to day. This game will not see the light of day in the near future. See you later." That's so sad. I see everyone in chat saying, this is so sad. If a game is broken or terrible, people should be able to get a refund. However, if it's a shorter game, maybe devs should be able to adjust the window of return, says Joker Joe. Yeah, that's that's crappy of people, says Beardtastic Yogi. It is. It's just very sad in general. I wonder if instead of an arbitrary 2-hour window, if there was any way on the back end for Steam to do like if you've played more than 20% of the game or 10% of the game. I don't know. I don't know if there's a way they could do that without the devs when they put in their game, like putting in here's the average length of how long we think it will take to play. I don't know what the solution is. I don't have that. But shout out to MLK Games for making something that people really enjoyed and not getting credit where credit was due. So I apologize to that developer. I just think that's really sad. But I wanted to put it out there. Humor Jubai says, I'll say it again. If you beat the game, no refund. You got your money's worth. That's a great, yes. If you beat the game, if you get whatever the end game achievement is, although I guess developers could fudge that on broken games where you can achieve an end game achievement right away or something like that. Maybe that's a good way to do it. But yeah, something needs to be figured out. It's a bummer. Percentages would be better for sure. But yeah, that's just a bummer, and I thought I'd bring it to everyone in this community's attention, so just in case you encounter that conversation elsewhere on the internet, you kind of have a basis to go from when it comes to forming opinions on that, and spread the word to your friends that if they beat a game in under 2 hours, don't return it on Steam, especially if it's an indie developer. That hurts them. Don't do that. All right, quick hits news. For the week, over 100,000 Call of Duty accounts were banned in a day, targeting repeat offenders and cheat providers at the source. Go get them. Pokemon Go reverses their Pokestop change after community backlash. I know we've talked a bunch about this in the past, and it looks like Pokemon Go has said, you know what? It's totally fine. We will change it back to 80 meters instead of 40 meters. And accessibility and socially distanced players rejoice. Stardew Valley is now an esport, which sounds so fun. Maybe finally an esport I'll be competitive in. The Stardew Valley Cup puts 4 teams against each other. The Sandy's Candies, Pierre's Cherries, Pam's Yams, and Krobus's Crocuses to compete against each other in a range of tasks to earn points. This is going to take place September 4th, and these teams are competing for a shot at almost $40,000. That's so fun. That is so, everyone's saying, haha, nice. So funny. I love Stardew. And Tyler says, huzzah, socially distanced Pokemon Go is so fun and accessible. And Jeff says, whoever gets the most chilly wins, or the most chill wins. Yep, and exactly. And maybe Maud and Adam will go pro. That's true. That's true. They didn't ask us to make a Dragonrider team, to which I am very sad about. But we could, maybe someday, participate. All right, and in the final quick hit I have for you today, Dr. Disrespect has come out and said that he is suing Twitch over his ban. He announced it on his YouTube channel that he was banned from Twitch last June for reasons not publicly disclosed, but he said he does know why, and he's suing them. So someday maybe we will all find out what went down there. I know a bunch of us have our theories, but the saga and the mystery continues, and we will have to wait and see what happens. Yeah, Steven Summers says, will we finally find out why? I don't know. We'll figure it out. And took it home to Jenny, says, yay, made it home before the end. You did. You made it home just in time for the end. So thank you. Thank you to everybody who tuned into the happy hour today. I still have a little bit of my drink. I finished most of it, but I still have a little bit of my drink left. I hope whatever you have going on with the rest of your day, the rest of your weekend, you are able to stay safe and healthy and be kind to one another. And yeah. Thank you so much for being here at Happy Hour with me. I am going to break down the studio, set it back up upstairs, and go live talking about tech on Amazon Live in, an hour and a little bitsy. So if you're still hanging out in an hour and a half and want another stream to watch, you can come on by over there. But otherwise, the next time I will be live after that is Sunday morning for the Sunday morning Twitch stream. So cheers to everyone. I hope you have a fantastic kickoff to your weekend, and I'll see you soon. Bye, everyone.